Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, back with another slice of Wario Land 4. Truth be told, I have absolutely no right to be recording this right now because at the time of recording, it's the Thursday before the Boss Rush episode goes up. I've got that edited and ready for upload. I still need to edit Saturday's part of Undertale, but I'm recording this instead, because I'm so responsible. In the last episode, we rushed all the bosses, and now we're gonna do the Golden Passage. And well, good luck to me too. Wait, no. Anyway, I rehearsed this, as it were, like literally the first thing I did when I woke up this morning. And oh, look at that. Like, I did try. There's no way of avoiding landing on the button when you enter the level. They do that for Palm Tree Paradise and Super Hard Mode as well. And if you fall... Since there's no traditional, like... If you die in this game, you just get booted out of the level and you just have to start again. So there's no death. If you fall into that bit underneath, like if you fall into those gaps, then you'll land in this pit of water, this current that drags you from right to left all the way back to the start of the level. And this level, as you can probably guess by the fact that you land on the bomb switch as soon as you enter, it's very much geared around wasting as much time as possible, because you get in, then you have traps and shit like this, where basically, the level wants you to be really daring, to get a really good score by spending ages in this level, getting all of the treasure and stuff, and then failing to get to the door. So, it's certainly cleverly designed, but it does come at the expense of you never actually get to hear this level's background music, which is a shame, because, according to TV Tropes, it's really good and really atmospheric. But instead we have this playing in the background, which, I mean, it's still a good track, can't complain. And I suppose I would be fucking up a bit more if I were going into this, not blind, but like, I don't remember blind, you know? But no, I practiced this morning, and it went rather well. I managed to get out with, I think, 2.5 minutes to spare, I want to say. Oh, fuck. Well, I need to get this anyway. The solution to this puzzle is to get bonked on the head and then jump down, and that's how you jump up to the right there. So, I do forgive the fact that I remember the answers to all these puzzles simply because I practiced ahead of time, but it's so I wouldn't suck. But as it turns out, I was good at this level blind anyway. And this is another instance of if you fall, you'll land in a current of water, although I don't think it's a current this time, it's just a nuisance thing, and I'd rather go back this way and give this room another shot, but I don't think you're gonna let me, are you? Nope, you're not. Well, I'll just come back from the right then, because there's treasure up there. And I managed to get through this entire room without being zombified in my practice run this morning. And bearing in mind, as I said, that's the first thing I did after I woke up. Yo, I think I deserve some credit for doing this level not perfectly. I did bumble around in the first room for about 2.5 minutes, but, well, maybe not 2.5, I'm shit at estimating time, but nevertheless. Did this level really rather well the first time, and none of that. I know that if you go down this particular chute, there's a diamond right there. Ah. Also, just breaking off on a tangent to say, if I sound ill, it's because I kind of, sort of, low-key am a little bit, because I think the day before yesterday, on Tuesday I had to go out late, just because I have a really late, university lecture, and I must have got a cold or something then, because, I was fine, and I got home, and then, when I was in bed, I developed this sore throat of sorts, and then yesterday I was kind of a little bit bunged up. It was really hard to sleep last night because blocked nose and sore throat, all those shenanigans. But then this morning when I woke up, I felt almost completely fine. Like, my eyes are still a little bit sore, as they are when you're ill, and my throat's still a little bit scratchy, but my nose is completely clear, and okay, I still feel a little bit tired, but did I seriously just sleep off a cold? Because that wouldn't surprise me. Also, we're nearly at the end of this level, holy shit. And by the way, you may have noticed that this level kind of has callbacks to a whole load of previous passages in the game. We've seen the Sapphire Room with the ghosts and stuff, and that sort of thing. Well, even the purple pipes get a shout-out in this level, because we got, I think, the only time that enemy appears outside of a purple pipe or in a cutscene, because he does appear in a cutscene. And we fall down here because that's just how you solve this room. It's not that difficult. Like, even doing it blind, it's not that difficult. So, you're not missing out too much by me having practices ahead of time. I just didn't want to suck for your lovely people's enjoyment. That's on Tuesdays, he says, deliberately making some sort of suggestive-sounding joke. Anyway, yeah, that's how you get the key, and it really surprised me when I got the key in my practice run, because I was like, wait, do I have all of the golden quarter chunk things? And yes I do. This level is actually surprisingly easy. Like, the timer's just there to scare you. But in actuality, it doesn't take that long to beat this level at all. Although, a delightful inconsistency that I'll point out now and ruin the graphic style of this game for you forever. And look how easy it is to get out of this level in time. Like, I didn't even use half the time it gave me. But, yeah. So, we picked up orange chunks, right? Orange quarters. And here, they're this shade of golden yellow, which is pleasant, I suppose. And I got a gold crown as well. I was kind of aiming for that anyway, but that's good. Got that on my first try on the practice run as well. So I'm rather proud of that. But then, like, so, the chunks were decidedly orange when we got them out of the box, and the boxes had little orange icons on them as well. But then we see them on that collection screen, and it's kind of the same shade of gold as the gold in the background here. But then it goes into this door, and it's this weird, pale kind of what? Bish what?
Bish what?
But yeah. And so I would say in the next episode, but now we have definitely got time for this. The final boss of the game, the Golden Diva, the toilet.
Toilet.
She's not even the toilet though. Well, that was a delightful reaction. We'll finally see some closure on this story. And there's a lot to appreciate here, like that black cat. Funny how we see the black cat running into this shop, and then there's this guy who's kind of like Mr. Game & Watch, but more animated, who has the same colour scheme. Yes, this game does have some story to it, but all those questions, none of this and more will be addressed in this last boss. Ah, my nose. But yes, now this one, much like Erodent, doesn't switch up her style too much, but she kind of does. She kind of doesn't. It's one of those ones where you need to work out what you're doing and then do it as quickly as possible, because as you can see, 12 treasures in the background. To get the best possible ending, you need to beat her fast enough so that none of those disappear. And I went to this boss semi-blind, as in I'd only played it as a child and then again never since. Grammar. But I went from 0 to 100 and got all of the treasures on my practice run. Also note how note she's wearing the crown, the earrings, the bracelets, and the necklace. And so yeah. This is a fun boss. There is kind of a bullshit element to it, but I'll address that when I address that, and this is actually fun. But if that mask touches you, then okay, this is kind of... Aiming is a bit of a nightmare with these, but... Really? That's what you have to do anyway. Be her #1 fan by killing the previous #1 fan. That's how fandom works, right? If these things hit you, they do that. Again, just a deliberate time waster. But... just... Really? I want to boop on your head. Like, I did screw this up majorly when I was doing my practice run, but I still managed to get all 12 treasures, so... It's really not that difficult, as long as you know what you're doing. But you'd be forgiven for not knowing, because as I said, there is a bullshit mechanic, which I'll address when it becomes apparent. She has so many faces, though!
88 different faces!
Whoa, sorry, touchy subject.
Here's another one. Now, you can't just charge her in the face, you have to keep throwing stuff at her, and it's kind of hit or miss whether I land on top of those, or if I get hit by them, but either way, it curls them into a ball, you throw it at her. And then there's this, where it blows up if you don't hit it quickly enough. Oh, and she's doing the cuckoo condor thing. This one's surprisingly hard to counter just because it's difficult to judge where the eggs are going to land. I need to be holding up in order to make sure that he catches them, I need to be in the right place, it's a bit of a nuisance, but it's doable. And instead of switching up her strategy partway through the boss, she'll just start doing more of these attacks that are relatively easy to counter. Like, she'll do more than one at once. I can't believe that hit. Now, I believe this is the bullshit one. Yeah, a hammer, right. You have to wait for it to land and then turn off, and then you would have thought throw it up at her to hit her. But nope, you have to hit yourself with the hammer. And then jump up into her like that. I did say many, many episodes ago that we needed to remember that mechanic for just such an occasion. And that's why. A lot of people get stumped by that. I didn't as a child. I don't know how. That's definitely a face. But yeah, at this point she's going to start doing multiple attacks, and it gets easier to counter because You have to, if she does one attack that you struggle with, like this, for instance, it's easier to counter because she does another attack as well, and it's... Like, with this, it's just about getting lucky as far as I'm concerned. Like, which side is she going to poop the egg out? There we go. I think now she starts doing more than one attack at once. Like, maybe it's 2 cycles. Well, anyway, it's... Typical lore of video game bosses. Oh, they did an attack that they countered really easily. I should just keep doing this attack that they countered really easily then. It's kind of dumb. And that just then was the first time that I missed that counterattack, funnily enough. If you're quick, I think you can re-grab the hammer, but... Yeah, she's doing more than one now. Oh, rude. I don't want to have a really successful practice run and then come back and, like, on the actual run suck. Because that... It would suck if I sucked, you know? Come on. Come on, just hit her. Really? Really? Well, this one's easier to do anyway. Yeah. Hitting yourself is easier than hitting her, clearly. And this is going surprisingly well. Like, we've got a fair amount of time left, and we've not lost any of the treasures yet, so... Okay, I'll just do this one then. I'm panicking, can you tell? This one's easiest to counter because you just charge it and hope that it hits her. I don't want to fuck this up because I had such a good time of it on my practice run. Obviously, the hammers will hurt until they despike themselves. Like, rude. Get the fuck out of my way. There we go. And then if I'm quick enough, I am quick enough, hit you in the face. 4 hits left and she's down to her regular face where now she changes up her strategy. She hits the floor and then you just charge her in the face. If you're on the floor when she hits the floor, then you get stunned. And obviously you won't have enough time to counterattack, but this is really easy, just one more hit, and then we're down to her last phase, which is literally just her lips, but this still counts as a phase. If you don't charge into her lips and kill her, then the treasures will start flying away in the background. But look how easy that was. So, we've got all 16 treasures, all 12 in the background, and the 4 that she was wearing. Now, the story of this game figures that it should get to this point before we actually address the story, but legend has it that there is this princess called Princess Chokora, or Chocolat, as in French for chocolate, the fandom isn't entirely sure, who has some big magic battle with the Golden Diva, but she loses, and so she gets cursed, and her treasures are stolen, and the pyramid, the Golden Diva takes over the pyramid. We just killed her, we got the treasures back, so now it's just a matter of finding Princess Chocolat. I'm gonna call her by the French name, because I don't think the story of this got properly localized, or maybe it was mistranslated, so Chokora, Chocolat, I'm not sure. But, yeah, the pyramid's gonna collapse because it was the Golden Diva's magic that was holding it up, because it was a symbol of her victory in the battle against Princess Chocolat, I'm not sure. But, really nice of Wario to escape with all the treasure, so for once Wario wins without being conned out of all of his treasures at the last second, but he lets the Professor guy escape, he lets the Black Cat escape that led him here in the first place, and he gets to keep all his treasure. I dare say that went rather well. But yeah, like, just, can we take a moment to appreciate, not only does he win, quote-unquote, because he gets to keep his treasure, but also he lets the cat escape safely before escaping for himself. But yeah, so that's the story of this game, and the cat's just there with him. This is adorable. Have I been rambling this entire time? Because, honestly, I was expecting this last part to take a lot longer, but my practice run of the Golden Passage and the Golden Diva, as the level and the boss, didn't take as long as I thought, even when I was doing them blind. But yeah, so... Cat. Taking a 25% cut of our treasure. Rude, but plot twist, the cat was Princess Chokora all along. And the number of treasures that you get from that final battle, I think it's dictated by how many of the 3 treasures that you get from the 4 passage bosses, which then dictates how many are in the background behind the Golden Diva. And then the longer you take to beat the Golden Diva, the more of those treasures fly away. And if you finish with all 12, this is the ending you get, which I never saw as a child. I only got to see the second best ending, and I'm not entirely sure why or how I did that well. And also, I'm not sure if the golden crowns have any bearing on it as well. Like, if you get all gold crowns, do you have more time before the treasure disappears? Because as a child, I remember fighting the Golden Diva and the treasures in the background just flying away pretty much constantly. But anyway, the fewer treasures you get, the more different this ending plays out. You get different versions of Princess Chocolat. That's the canonical, the best version of her. There's one with longer hair, which I think is prettier. I think she's the second best one. She looks a bit more anime and a bit less snooty princess, but she's still nice. There's an ending where she comes out as a baby, and there's a version where she's a female Wario. I'm not sure if that's like a bad ending, or if that's or some sort of joke or secret ending. I'm not entirely sure, but we get to finally see what was in those treasure chests at the very least. And we get to see their credits as well. Normally, I find credit sequences to be boring, and so you need to have something entertaining to keep the player engaged while doing a credit sequence, and this game does that perfectly fine by showing off all the treasures that we got. I'm assuming if you don't get all of the treasures, either if you fuck up one of the corridor bosses, or if you take too long fighting the Golden Diva, you won't get all of these with the images in the background and the treasures. I don't know, I don't remember. But we finally get to see each of the things that we got, apart from the 25% cut that Princess Chocolat took, but hey, we still got 12. We weren't expecting to keep the crown, the bangles, bracelets, whatever, the necklace and the earrings anyway, I don't think. I mean, what would Wario do with a pair of sapphire earrings anyway? Well, I assume they're sapphire, even though we got them from the Ruby Passage, or whatever. And if you beat the game on hard mode as opposed to normal, I believe he has a slightly snazzier car at the end. And if you beat the game on super hard, then he has, like, his car is a hover car or something like that. I don't fully remember, because I've never done it myself and I've only seen like a speedrunner do it. So yeah. But yeah, that gimmick of the Golden Passage where you land on the bomb switch and you can't avoid it, which means my first time playing that level as a child, entered the level, hit the bomb switch, and then just left. I knew that wasn't what you're supposed to do, because obviously you have to go all the way to the end of the passage to get the key in order to progress to the door where the golden chunks go, and you have to get the golden chunks on the way to getting the key, or on the way back, it doesn't really matter. But as a child, I never bothered that. I just entered the level, oh, okay, door's open, leave. And then I went back and did it properly afterwards, because I've mentioned before how child me was kind of, well, I mean, to be fair, I still am afraid of deadlines in that sense, but still. I mean, as a child, I thought that running out of time meant insta-death, didn't know about the timer ticking down with your treasure, but I got a gold crown, and that's what counts. But yes, that gimmick where you land on the bomb switch immediately, in super hard mode, that's what happens in the very first, well, not in the Hall of Hieroglyphs, but in Palm Tree Paradise, the first level of the Emerald Passage, the arguably easiest level. You have to do that entire level against the clock, which is a nice idea. I could carry on this series and replay the entire game on hard or super hard, but no, I've done this game justice, and it's the end of the year anyway. I want to start the new year with some new projects, and besides, this is a fun game, but I've done it justice, and replaying all the levels on a harder difficulty, while it would show off slight changes in the levels, like, oh, Pinball Zone, some more of those spike shooters are active, or Mystic Lake, there are more enemies in the holes, or, oh, the treasure's in different places that are harder to get to, and, oh, we have less time to get out the level. Well, I feel like showing that off would just be redundant, because I've pointed out where the majority of these hidden rooms are and what the differences in super hard mode are, so honestly, I'm content to just take this ending and call it a project. And I'm surprised that, like, that the credits, combined with a relatively, well, a gold crown run of the Golden Passage and the Golden Diva, was enough to make a perfect length episode. I'm surprised and pleased. But also, there was something I was going to say and I've completely forgot. Oh yes, on the end slates of these videos, I've been tracking the number of CDs and gold chunks, or, well, quarter jewel things that I've got. And I really thought I would miss at least one or two during this playthrough, and I thought that'd be a fun way of tracking it. But no, I aced every level the first time I played through them, with the exception of the Hall of Hieroglyphs and Fiery Cavern for not getting a gold crown, but that has no bearing on the story, so I didn't expect this to go this well. I think it was kind of like in Sonic 3D Versus, where I was relying on childhood memories of me being a turd nerdler, but no, I've improved by not playing the game for many years and then picking it back up again. But yeah, bookends, Grey Cat, $10 steak buffet. Well, this was fun. And I suppose I should at least show off. As I said, if you keep playing on this save data, all the bosses are revived, so if you missed some of the treasures on one of them, you could go and refight them, and then refight the final boss, see the ending with, try and get a better ending, I suppose. And there's the file that I covered up in the first episode just to avoid spoilers, but yeah, this is how you tell the order in which the bosses are supposed to be fought, I suppose. Now, oh yeah, you have to refight the bosses in order to re-unlock the Golden Passage, that's another one. But... oh! I thought... see, I could have sworn you had to put in a special button combination in order to unlock this, but... yeah, this is the theme music of the first level, well... of Palm Tree Paradise. But I'm not gonna sing, I'm not a singer. Well, I am, but shut up. And here are all of the CDs that we got throughout the levels. And I think a grand total of 2 of these actually appear within the game, because they are really not, like, you would have thought it would be the music from each level, but it's not. Like this, for instance, I believe this is incidental music from one of the cutscenes. It might even be from WarioWare microgames. I don't even know. I don't remember, is what I'm trying to say. And there's this, which is the music from the Purple Pipes, but all the others are just random pieces of shit. I have no idea why or what. Or it feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. Like, for instance, this, literally just the sound of a fly. There's this, which is just shoe noises. It makes very little sense. You watch this video get copyright strikes because, oh, you played the moon's lamppost in a video. And then there's this, which has a delightful title. So I could show off each one of these in turn, but you get the idea. Also, that image just there with the Daruma. As a child, I hated that because I interpreted it as some sort of hideous, bloody eyeball, even though I knew that wasn't what it was, but it looked too much like that for me to be comfortable as a child. So whenever, like, I'd go and listen to all the songs that I collected, but whenever that image would come up, I'd just quit out of the song immediately, but... this was fun. I enjoyed reliving this game from my childhood and actually being better at it than I'd anticipated. But I have been, and will continue to be, Tessellating Hexagons, and... well, I suppose I'll just have the Avocado song play us out. Nah, I'm just messing. I'll have the usual end slate music. See you in the next project. And thanks for watching, of course.